Hey YouTube fam, and I know some of my um, CJR fam is also part of my YouTube, family. So this video I know is coming up. The title already says things I've learned as being one of the admins of a Facebook purse group. Okay, so major thing I have learned is that you're not gonna make everyone happy. All right, you're not. And you're not supposed to. Even if you have like I mean it's just gonna happen. Not gonna make everybody happy, right? So even if you have a group of, you know, 5 members to 5,000, 15,000 members in a Facebook purse group, you're still gonna come across issues or whatnot, right? So anywho, when I created or the idea of CGR, Coach Gone Rogue Facebook Purse Chat and Cell Group, was the 1941 line from Coach. Yeah, that's the one that stole me from Dooney and Burke, okay? Because I was in Dooneyville. I was living my best life with the Florentine leather and the Toledo leather. And I just was like trying to get my style. Like I love the large zip Barlow. That's my favorite Florentine bag from Dooney and Burke. It was a great commute bag, and I also like the Smith bag too. And then the Toledo leather, the colors are so vibrant. And I did like the medium mount satchel with that, but when I found the Coach 1941 line, the Rogue, it spoke to me, and I purchased my first 1941 bag from the Coach outlet. I don't know if you can see a video. It was the Coach Rogue satchel in the color chalk. Okay, and that was like I think August of 2017, because I remember I went to a Labor Day Caribbean party and you had to wear all white, and I brought my chalk bag with me. I was styling. So anywho, so during that time I was trying to look for a purse group that was talking about this 1941 line, right? And at the time it was mostly not mostly, you can only get it from the retail store, and you know, retail price of almost $1,000 unless you wait for family and friends and 30% off, but still is a nice chunk of change, right? And so I just lucked out that the Coach Rogue satchel, I guess it didn't do as well, and so it went straight to the outlet, so I got it. So I was like, when I got that first piece, I was like, this is amazing. The suede, the detail, and everything, right? So I was like, okay, try to look on Facebook for a purse group about Coach, but when I would join, it was mostly focusing on the Coach outlet pieces, which is fine, but that's not what brought me to the Coach yard. It was the 1941 lines, right? So, so then I was the only two people I was chatting with at the time who were in, getting pieces from there was Dee Dee and Lisa. They had got some rogues and stuff. So, here I am in the private message chatting. I'm like, oh, I got this. Oh, look at this rogue and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I'd love for us to have a group, for us to chat about it. And I was like, Lisa, she's the admin and creator of Dooney Devotion. I was like, you should create one because, I didn't want to have to deal with admin stuff, because I saw, like, being in other purse groups, I know there's more to it than just like what one person say or whatever the case may be, because being a registered nurse for, well, how long has it been now? Ooh, 13 years. I've done the charge nurse role, and I always never wanted to do that. I always just somehow ended up being in that role because there was no one who would experience that during the shift or whatever I had to do it. And I was like, no, that is not what I want to do. I love precepting and teaching and stuff like that. But anywho, back to the story. So I didn't want to have to deal with all of that, stuff that goes on behind the scenes, right? And then even though people would comment in the forum of these other purse groups, I never chatted on these like controversial topics or whatever, something that happened, because I wasn't there. Um, I wasn't there when the transaction or anything happened. We're hearing one side and all this stuff, and this person said they did this. Yeah. So I always just keep scrolling past that stuff. So I know there's more to the eye that happens behind the scene. And I never, was like, I don't want to find out about that. That's, I appreciate the admin for keeping this group and having this space for us to chat about, right? So I was just like, Lisa, why don't you create one? You know, because she had to do most. She was like, no, I'm good. My hands is full with Dooney devotion. You should create one. And I was just like, oh, okay. So I was like, if I create one, would you guys join me in admin? You know, and they said, yeah, they will. So I was like, okay. So we created CGR Family. It was just us three in the group for a few days. And it was cool. We were like, you know, having a good time. Then we started, you know, then I think some other girls started coming in or whatever. And I think the first month we probably had like 50 people or something like that. Not even that, but it was just so much fun. And we're trying to get deals off of eBay, you know, like, okay, oh, this one is selling for, you know, $400 or $500. And you're like, yeah, so, you know, so we're exploring the 1941 line, a lot of us, through the pre-owned market, or trying to get, because there's not much on the pre-owned market. And those who are able, you know, who are purchasing from the retail store, we're like excited, like can't wait to see pictures and stuff. Anywho, so it's been fun. It's been fun. But part of, you know, people say there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. It is a lot that goes behind the scenes. And as admins, shout out to all the admins. Um, you know, you don't get paid for it. I know our group doesn't get paid for it. We don't do any raffling because it's illegal. Yeah, so check that. It's illegal to do raffles. Um, so we're not making any dinero or anything. This is our time where people, you know, our fan members are reaching out to us with the concern that we have to take away from our personal time or with our family and friends or just for ourselves, right? To help people out and address some concerns. So, um, yeah. So what I have learned is that you're not going to make everyone happy, um, and it's okay. Okay. Um, with so many different personalities, and we all come from across the globe, like I've said before to my CGR fam, which I think is awesome. Like initially it was just, you know, North America, United States, and Canada. And then it's all, you know, then the Caribbean started popping up. Then we had people from South America. Then we had people from Asia and European countries. People were just popping up and joining the group from across the globe. And recently I looked at our stats and I was just like, oh my gosh, like we have people from all of these countries. It was kind of crazy. Like we have people from Qatar. We have people from um, just, no, it's not popping up, but it was just so many. Even one country I didn't even know, two countries I didn't even know it existed, and I had to go look up. And I was just like, one of them I could not even pronounce. So I just thought that was pretty awesome. We have these people in our group that we're, you know, across the globe because for the love of Coach, right? So yeah, so then that's I get excited about that because I love cultural diversity, um, and also I respect cultural diversity and differences, right? So at the same time too, when people make a comment about a country in a group or you know something with a negative connotation, I'm like, no, it's not happening in here. You know, there's no tolerance for that. No, none of that. Okay. Some people are like, oh, this and this. It probably this and was made in um, China. You know, they did this and that and that. But like making a blanket statement about a country, about the quality that they bring out, is you could say some. You know, it's like you know, there's a way you word. I don't know. Maybe it's because I work in a environment where now and you know I had to learn how to communicate without seeing a person face to face so they can get the gist of what I'm saying. Um, could say, oh, all of these fakes are this is this and this is probably from you know China and this thing they throw it you know the way sometimes some people what they say and it's like yo like you know a lot of our quality handbags Rose and stuff they're made or dinkies they're made in China like a lot of these Rogues and quality bags that we're getting, they're made in Vietnam. It's like you can get fake bags from anywhere, any country, you know, produces a replica or fake of any brand. So, anywho, that's another spill. So I have a whole thing about I've encountered people learning, you know, not having really a mindset of cultural diversity and respect. Okay, so we don't tolerate that in our group. So yeah. So what I found out also is, you know, You're going to find somebody who, when they come to you and present you an issue, sometimes they don't present the whole story, right? So then we have to go in investigative mode. And I'm like, okay, thank you for letting me know. And then I go and do the research and I'm like, well, this person said this to you, but like what elicited that response, right? And I go look and I see you said this and this, and that's why that person said that to you. You forgot the part of you saying this, right? And that's why the person said this to you. Right? They became reactive to what you said. So they're like, oh well, that's not how I meant it. Well, how other thing you didn't say what you said this way. That's why this person, they don't know why they coming at them like this. But you're not telling me why you said this. Like, this is why they're coming at you. I'm not saying they're right or wrong or whatever, but tell the whole story. And so we have to do a lot of background research, and then sometimes it's something like we're working and my stuff buzz because I have it like to buzz for private message because I'm not on Facebook 24/7. We got lives, we got jobs and stuff like that. So if there's a PM, if the phone's next to me, if I'm at work, it buzzes, and if I'm not occupied with work or whatever, with something that needs my attention, then I'll take a break and I'll take a look in what's the concern. Sometimes I be able to address. All right, y'all. The phone went dead. I had to come upstairs, put it on charger, and I get it back to work too. So I could just be doing some of this while I'm talking. So as I was saying that, what was I saying before? Pretty much like, we have to do investigative stuff and, for us to make a fair decision, right? But a lot of time it's like a one-sided story and you have to get the other side, right? Because when the person is upset or I think sometimes you forget the little, the details. So, and then when you bring it up, you're like, well, oh, but da 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 da, And so I'm like, all right, um, I've learned a lot of that happens. I already knew that happens, but we experienced that a lot. And also, I'm so grateful for my co-admins. Lisa, Dee Dee, and Alana joined us last year, which was really awesome. We needed the help because it was just, you know, things that are occurring. And, you know, we have other stuff that's going on in our personal lives, right? So sometimes it could kind of get burnt out and like, really, let's just shut down this group. Because sometimes at that moment we don't feel it's serious, right? But it's serious for that person. That's their experience, that's what they're going through at the moment. So it's serious for them. But like for myself, I had a lot of moments I had to pass the baton to them. Being that I come back from a neonatal ICU experience where I've experienced a lot of, there's griefs and loss and stuff like that, and joy also, and going to case management where I was dealing with, because I'm doing something different now, but I was dealing with a lot of my members who were managing chronic health conditions, and then, they were either in a bad spot and financially couldn't afford, all these various scenarios. They can't afford their medications or things like that. Or I've, coordinating services and resources for them to start to progress or whatever, and being able to get a handle on their conditions and doing great. And, talking to a member for almost a year, you become like, your patients, you treat them like your family. Members, you treat them like your family, right? So you're finally like, yes, we're progressing and everything's set in place, and I got your dietitian, and we're this and that, and you have to worry about your meds and this and that, and then for you to call and follow up with them, and then you get a spouse, who's crying on the phone and tell you, hey, Melissa, I'm sorry to tell you such and such, died last night, I just left the hospital, had a massive heart attack, or this and this, that, or so then I come from that, right? And then you get a private message about a bag about something someone said that, they're not happy about, or they're upset about, or they hurt feelings, and you're like, it's not that serious. That's what I'm feeling at the moment, right? It is not that serious. I'm like, somebody like, I don't know. Just there's a lot of times I stepped away from the group and took a moment because some stuff I'd be like, you know, and I passed the baton to my fellow admins like, hey y'all. And sometimes I appreciate y'all because I be venting. I'll be like, this and this, that's especially when I was going through in case management. Just I came across a lot of issues where I felt like it was just like it's not that serious, and we should be grateful that we can even afford these bags, $300, $400, and just be appreciative, right? But then I have to remind myself that is not their experience. This is not their background. They're not in the moment of losing a patient or losing a member or, finish talking to somebody who couldn't afford $5 because of all these other circumstances that occurred or whatever to pay for a needed med, or don't have the deductible to pay for a needed procedure. So I'm like, so so but then I was like, you know what, Melissa, this is not their experience. This is their space to come away from all of that, and they may be having that same service where they're losing, and this is their space where they come to have fun, and that's true, and to have fun about the bags. And if they're excited about the bags, not happy about the bags, or happy about a transaction, not happy about a transaction, or whatever, this is their space. And sometimes I just have to step away. So I just have to tell my admin. So I'm grateful for what I learned from being an admin. You do need, I feel like it's great to have a support team, admin team, so you can bounce back ideas. Also, learn when we are biased. So we're honest. It's like, if I feel like I'm biased in a situation, I'm like, hey, I'm stepping out this discussion and you guys can, talk it out. Same thing, the other ladies do the same thing. Hey, I'm biased in this situation. I'm stepping out this conversation, so shout out to the admin team. So we've adjusted a lot of issues. We've done a lot of stuff where I feel it probably wasn't, we were going out of our scope to do. And I appreciate them. But now I'm learning that we don't need, well, I'm looking this way. Where's the camera? This way. I'm like, we don't need to be doing all that. And there's a lot of stuff I say, hey, if that person not communicating, that's why I say do PayPal, business transactions. So if something doesn't work out, you can create a claim. Okay. So if they're not communicating, the buyer or seller, I just remove them from the group. Before we're trying to, you know, reach out to this and that to try to establish a communication, all that stuff, that was just too much. So, and so, we've encountered a lot of things, but in all, I've had fun in the group and still do. Um, and, and there's sometimes I'm not on the group page 24/7 on Facebook per group. And somebody's like, oh, you guys need to be monitoring, filtering, and all this stuff. Nobody's going to be doing that for 24/7. We're not getting paid for this. That's why we say we're all adults. And if you have an issue, private message us. We have 4. So if you don't get a prompt response that you would like, you have 3 other options. And even then, give us a moment. Just like you probably working or don't work or whatever situation, we have jobs. Or commitments that are outside of social media. Okay. Um, so yeah, that's what I've learned from Purse Group, being an admin. You're not going to make everybody happy. Just as a family, when it's growing, there are certain things you're able to do with just your husband and, or wife, your spouse. When it's just 2 of you and, as a family, you're able to do certain things. And then when you gotta, when it grew, when it become a family of 5, you may not be able to do certain things that you were doing when it was just a family of just 2. So as our family, CJR family is growing, we are encountering more issues as expected, and more differences as expected, and it's okay. That's how the family grows, right? And sometimes it's gonna work out for some members, and sometimes it's not. Just like a family member, after a while, when you turn 18 or whatever, it's time to leave the home because you don't want to, it's like, I want my own household, right? So that's the same thing. There's some people it's been sad to see them go, and some people I understand. It's time to move on. Some people, you know, we've had to remove and stuff like that. But there's more to the Facebook Purse group. It's amazing that we have that digital space, but there's more to life, you know, than purses. Okay. I'm appreciative and grateful to have, you know, them, but there's more to life to that. And I'm just grateful that I'm appreciative that, you know, certain, you know, these items I was able to afford and purchase or whatever, and get to enjoy and get to connect with others from around the globe with the same love for handbags. But just also learning that it doesn't overtake my life, right? So yeah, that is what I learned of being an admin for almost 2. I think it's next weekend or something. It's gonna be 2 years since we created CGR Facebook group. Um, and shout out to all the admins and all the other groups, whether it's one person in your group to, you know, 10,000. Shout out to you. All right. Talk to y'all later, y'all. Let me finish. Let me get back to work and finish this coffee. Bye.